This is Anna from Koala Soap, and today we're going to be making a soap that's inspired by my children's favorite bedtime story, Goodnight Moon. The fragrance we'll be using is Energy from Crafter's Choice. Okay, for our colorants, we're going to use a yellow from Stardust Micas. We're using a blue slushy mica from Brambleberry, and then we're going to use activated charcoal hardwood from Crafter's Choice. I'm going to be using clear melt and pour, and I'm also going to be using goat's milk. Okay, we're all melted. Our scent today will be Energy from Crafter's Choice, in case I didn't already say that. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing the micas. I'm going to be using 91% alcohol, which you can get in any drugstore. I have this little shot glass, which I like to use. I don't like to spray the alcohol. I don't like to inhale it. I know I have to spray when I pour and all that, but I like to reduce the fact that I have to do it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and mix. I put a couple drops of alcohol in here, and then I'm going to mix the mica in. Okay, I've mixed the black. I've got a little bit of charcoal in the mold. That's what that color is, but that's fine. It's going to be mostly black anyway. So now I'm going to just do the blue mica. And then we'll mix that in. And that's a really pretty blue. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but that is just, it's just such a beautiful color. And then we'll mix that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure these are all mixed in, and then we'll get ready to pour. So I've just taken the temperature, and they're all about 135, 136, so I have to pour kind of quickly here. I added a little bit of glitter, bio glitter in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this black in. Okay. Take that temperature again, 135. This one, 153, so we're gonna let that one sit for a second. And this one's 139. Okay, good. So what we're gonna do is we'll spray it with alcohol. We'll stir this one so it cools down a little bit more. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pour the blue, and again I'm going to use these spouts. Hopefully it doesn't mix in too well, but it might. Oh, that's really pretty. I don't know if you can see that, but that's really mixing well. So I'm starting to get a skin here on this one. This one is still at 139. This is now at 125. So I'm going to take my knife, and I'm just going to make sure I have a slit here for when I pour. Again, that's why it's really good to have these spouts on here. I'm trying not to mix the colors in, but there is a skin, so I just want to make sure that when I pour, it's not going to just blend. And let's see. This one's at 140. This is at 127. I'm going to let this cool down for just a little bit longer, and then we'll go ahead and pour it. Okay, this is now at 136. This is in the 120s. So I'm going to try and move it so you can see it. I've already poked through again. I have my spout ready, pouring my alcohol, and let's see how it goes. Just to make sure, just want to make sure I have a path there. This is actually supposed to be like the moon, so we'll see. I'm going to pour it down one side, down the other, and then squiggly. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay. Okay, so the soap is still cooling. I have an idea because I have a feeling I put in too much yellow. So I'm going to just be proactive and try to get something on there that'll maybe take away from some of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some embeds, and I use these trusty little trays that you guys know I like so much, and I'll show you how I'm going to make that. I pour very, very little into the tray so that I can just basically cookie cut the designs out. So So we'll add a little bit more of our yellow, and this time I'm going to be putting it into some clear melt and pour. Okay, so now I have it mixed. I put a little bit of bio glitter in there, not much, and I'm just going to pour a very thin layer into these molds. It's going to be a very thin layer. So, and what's nice about it, this one isn't sitting flat. So hold on. Okay. I didn't put any fragrance in this, basically because the loaf is already scented, so I really don't need any more scent in here. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these little star cutouts that I got from Amazon, and that's going to make just some little embeds I can put on top of the soap. I know the soap is mostly yellow, but since this is a clear melt and pour, it'll maybe pop a little bit more. Okay, so what we've done is I take these little pieces out, and then I use my little cookie cutter, and they're very thin. You can see how thin they are. And I take my little cookie cutter and I just make a whole bunch of embeds. And so you can kind of see all the embeds I've made. They're all little stars. There's 2 different sizes in there. And then what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to melt this down. I'm going to pour a very thin layer on top of this once it hits a low temperature. Don't forget to squirt your alcohol. And then we're going to stick these little embeds on top.